Hi, right, welcome back. So, progress. Where we got to? Okay, a lot of it built now. I did actually have it running yesterday. I'll come to that when I move around to that side. So, yeah, waited for a load of BSF bolts coming for all the kind of cycle parts, everywhere that we needed new bolts and all that sort of stuff, because it really makes no sense to just have old, dirty, mucky, old, rusty bolts on it. So anyway, bit of a look round as we are at the minute. So yeah, like I say, we had it running, and initially primed the oil pump up. I've noticed since it's been running, we've got a slight weep off this little fibre washer in there. That, yeah, just got a little slight weep off that. There was off this plate as well at the minute, but it tightened up again a bit more. So I think the gaskets, there's two, one behind this plate and one behind the alley. I think the gasket's kind of crushing. These horrible connections here I've put on that to actually get it to run. I'm going to change these though. I'm going to put some new ones on here, so they really look a bit poor, don't they? So yeah, new HT leads. All the ones were perishing a bit, so coming out of the coil and then into the dizzy cap, identified by cylinder 1 and 2. The little alley plate still on it. Yeah, looking good, looking really nice. So just about got the brake sorted. The brakes linkages and what have you sorted. There's so much to that to get it set right. Horn repainted and fitted. So brake light switch mounted in the back here, brass terminals kind of showing in the back there. So yeah, what we got? I haven't got the bolt back in here yet, but battery in, fitted, newly painted air battery box and electrics box. Now I do prefer function over form. New modern fuse holder in. A lot of it's been rewired. New modern fuse holder in. Also, all there is in here is the positive and the negative terminals are in here, and it is actually, just note to self, it is actually positive earth. So the positive actually goes directly to earth. So instead of it being like we are these days, negative earth, this is still in the era of positive earth stuff. So, like I say, easier to get a fuse for that than it is the and when it's in here and shut, who knows. Like I say, prefer function over form, certainly where it's hidden. So yeah, so wheels, just want a bit of a clean now. Number plate, everything, in fact, brake light, yay. So new trim around the other one just disintegrated, taking it off. So this is new, like coach trim, whatever you want to call it in there. So underside of the mudguards have all been body shut, stone chipped and then painted all up in the underside, because it kind of does show. So it's just mucky now, mucky hands are working on it, just gets bloody filthy straight away. So anyway, moving round. So I've just done the oil seal on this input shaft, pinion shaft, whatever you want to call it. Just done that oil seal. In fact, the old one's there where it came out, and I did the job. I've just got to get that sorted and tied up as well now. So yeah, little ammeter now fitted back in the panel. As we can see, when we turn it on, we get a negative amps, current flow, lights. So we've got lights, side lights, high beam, or main lights. New wiring up through, all up inside the duct, inside the mudguards. Again, all new bolts everywhere. And yeah, yesterday, coming around, like I say, come around this side. We had it running yet, but it was yesterday, but it was leaking. So leaking fuel out these awful period and of the time and that sort of thing. But so new seals on the on like the banjo fitting on here, and this little the input to this float chamber is from underneath, so it has a float on a just a little clip that clips to the needle, and as the float lifts up it shuts the valve inside here. These tend to fur up, for want of a better description, inside there. So I've actually had a little bit of grinding paste on there in the battery drill and just literally clean, so they kind of mate to each other again now, and you can't blow up there now when it's seated. So hopefully now it will shut fuel off instead of it constantly trying to, you know, dribble out the tickler hole and all that sort of thing. So with regards to the exhaust, right, where we get to with exhaust, I've welded the exhaust up. It was cracked, so so I've welded the exhaust, and this just wants sorting out when we get a bit of finalisation, when the tank's on, that sort of thing in there. So yeah, a bit chaos here still, nuts and bolts. We're working through the last few bits and pieces. Yeah, like I had to order in a lot of BSF nuts, bolts, and you know, it was crazy. I mean, don't take my word for it, go and have a look yourself. Somebody, I'm not going to name names on the internet, but there's a couple of companies selling BSF bolts, like I think they were 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, and I think it was just for 2, because I only kind of needed 2. It was like £6. Like £6 for 2 BSF bolts, and yet there's another company selling like a mixture, a bag full of all the 1/4 and all that, you know, all the way up kind of common sizes, and for £30 a bag, which we've used a lot of, you know, but that just made more sense. You got a bit of a selection for stuff. So anyway, so that's what's happened with that. Yeah, we are getting, she's looking good now, nice and shiny black. So just a word on this motor. Inside here, I do it with every engine. As I take it to bits, I kind of just make a note, certainly if it isn't obvious on timing marks and one thing and another on it. But I actually drew, just let me, in fact it is here. Right, I actually drew, made a note on that horrible little brown piece of paper. Okay, crankcases, TDC, and then the line between the mounting bolt, and there's like a, that's it, the hollow one there is distributor drive hole, and the top one is like a pin for this sprocket to pin into the cam. Now when I looked at that, I thought, okay, we can see what I've drawn, you know, just gauging that it wasn't, but it actually turns out that when you're timing this up, it should be to this face. I'm led to believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but to this face, because that's the way this one is, it's vertical straight through the little hole, the centre hole, and it's vertical straight through it. So this goes, to me, I think this, and it would run, it would still run, but I think this engine was a tooth out on the valve timing. So if the crank is turning this way from the back, the cam turns that way. So if it's actually, it's retarded a tooth, which would mean the inlet valve would open later, it would close later, open after, it would open later and shut. Obviously everything, because it's a fixed camshaft, everything would be opening and closing late. Now I don't know how many teeth there is on that sprocket, but obviously if say there was 10 teeth on that sprocket, it'd be with 360 degrees, be 36 degrees for one tooth, but there's a lot more teeth than that. So but yeah, I get a feeling that this, I might be wrong with it, but I think this is timed up, gone back together different in here to what it was originally. But and it sounds sweet, sounds responsive, and it sounds willing. And so anyway, I think the next thing to do is finish off the fuel. Where's that pipe gone? Yeah, this pipe, as much as I wanted to keep it kind of authentic, look at my little reservoir there, look for running it. Yeah, I wanted to keep this as authentic as long as it's functional, that is. So this is the original. Yeah, goes on here. That part, I ain't got enough hands to do this now. But these little swaged on. Do you know, I've actually got some of these little ferrules, I think they call them, whatever they are. But you need the machine that actually crimps them onto that. Anyway, they were used in the outfit racing days back in the past. We used to use them, but so this one's okay. This one leaks. So unfortunately, I don't know how old that piece of. I mean, it seems all right. It's a bit hard, a bit stiff, but I'm gonna have to. The issue is, it's all here, okay. And I've had this issue in the past where fuel leaking drips down onto the frame. 5 or 10 minutes of fuel sitting on this paint. I mean, it's really quite durable 2-pack, but it don't like petrol being dripping on it constantly. So, you know, neither would your car or anything else. So, you know, with it being here, plus the exhaust here, obviously, we just don't want any fuel leaking. So, so anyway, that's my next job. I've just, like I said, I've just put the new seals on there, ground that little seat inside there again. It sounded and smelt rich though. So I checked the needle position and the needle's lifted, so I've put it back to a central position, and I'm going to try it like that and just see if she sounds a bit better that way. So okay, thanks for watching, and we'll pick it up when we get a bit more. But as you can see, we've progressed a lot, and perhaps I should have done an interim one, but you kind of get going, and you know, sometimes it's not very entertaining watching somebody just wheel some spanners and stuff. So it's more, I would think, entertaining to keep seeing it stage by stage and a good look round it with a camera. Time to clear off this stuff, start getting a few bits put away, and finishing it off. So okay, catch you on the next one.